So I'm going to make a fresh version of Mexican chorizo. We've got some fairly coarse pork mince, and that's what you need, a fairly coarse pork mince. So go to your butcher, tell them you want pork belly mince. It's the best way to get what you need. So they'll grab some pork belly, they'll put it through the mincer, and this is what you'll end up with. So pork belly mince in there, about 500 grams. I'm using, I know this says crispy chicken on it, but it's basically the mix you would use if you were going to do a crispy chicken taco or something like that. But what I like about it is it's got the breadcrumbs in it. So the breadcrumbs that you need to bind everything together are in this packet with a lot of the spices that you need or would normally go into making a fresh chorizo. So I want a packet of the crispy skin chicken mix in there. Then a few other spices to go on top of that aren't in that crispy skin chicken mix. This is a little bit of allspice, not much, about half a teaspoon of allspice. Some paprika, some smoked paprika, about a teaspoon of smoked paprika, then about half a teaspoon of cinnamon, some oregano, 2 teaspoons of oregano. Thyme's nice as well. If you're a fan of thyme, you can put thyme in there. And then the zest of a lemon. Lemon or lime will do. And then I need a big pinch of salt. The salt's going to help bind as well. So as we massage the meat, the salt will bring some enzymes out. It will start to get sticky, and that'll help bind. And that way we don't need to add any extra binding agents like eggs. We've got the breadcrumbs from the crispy skin chicken mix and the salt. So chorizo is basically paprika and garlic are the 2 main things in there. So we've got garlic from our crispy skinned chicken mix. I'm going to put some more smoked paprika in there so we get that real flavour of chorizo. And then massage. So get your hands in there. You do need to massage this for about 5 minutes non-stop for that salt to do its thing. Sometimes your mince is going to be wetter than other times. If it's too moist, too wet and I'm worried it's going to fall off the skewer, I'll add another packet of that crispy skin chicken mix. As the more you massage this, you can see that they're starting to sort of stick together, the meat. So that salt's starting to do its job.
Why does the salt bind then?
It's to do with sort of denaturing the protein. So salt or any stress that you put on protein, whether it's heat or acid or salt, will start to denature the protein, and it enables it to sort of bind with other things. So when it's not denatured, it's clumped up in a little ball. As you denature it, you break it down, it starts to be able to form cross bridges with other things. But there is a lot more to it than something as simple as that, James.
When you add heat or acid or salt to proteins, they start to unfold. So the rings unwind, the sheets start to go, or the sheets lose their pleated structure and flatten out. And then when they start to unfold, we call that denaturation or denaturization. And what that means is that the proteins then take on that different unfolded structure, and in that other unfolded structure, they're able to interact with water and to interact with heat to change their structure, or just to change the structure of the food and help and make the food start cooking.
So that is about done. So I reckon I can probably get 3 little, I'm going to make sort of free-form kofters with this. I'm going to form them around these skewers. So you're making the sausage without the casing, basically. And that's why you need to spend a lot of time massaging the meat so that it does bind together, so that it stays on the skewer. I reckon the metal skewers are always better, especially for something like pork or chicken. So the metal, when it sits on the charcoal grill, the metal will heat up so it can cook the skewer from the inside as well. As the heat transfers down the metal skewer, you can start cooking from the inside. If you're making a sort of a beef or a lamb kofta, you don't have to worry so much about it being cooked all the way through, but with pork and chicken, you're better off making sure it's cooked all the way through. So I just want to make up a little basting now to go on that before it goes on the grill and while it's on the grill. But with this little bit of mince left over, I'm just going to cook it. So while that little meatball cooks and I check my seasoning, I'm just going to make the basting to go with it. So I've got some apple cider vinegar, about a tablespoon apple cider vinegar, and a little bit of oil with that. And I'm going to put a little bit of butter and a little bit of oregano. Get my basting brush, let that butter melt, and then we'll be ready to go. So this little meatball, it's probably, let me have a look and see what my seasoning's like. So the inside there is still undercooked. With the metal skewers, as I said, they'll heat up by sitting on this grill, and that heat will pass through the middle and you won't have to worry about that. It smells bloody good. Oh. That's good. Okay, so I just want to baste just before it goes on as well. So these will take about 6 minutes to cook, 3 minutes each side. As soon as you put them on, don't move them because they'll stick to the grill. You've got to let them cook all the way through and then they'll lift themselves off the grill and then you'll be able to turn them over. So give them a good 3 minutes on one side before you have that inclination to want to move them. But what you can do while they sit there is just keep basting them while they're cooking for that 3 minutes.